Late games tend to mess you up.
There were mentioned a couple of players last night that you guys lost games one against Minnesota and Seattle last year. You were actually down 2-1 in both those series.
Yeah.
Does that just show you how much you have to stay in the moment in these types of things where, I mean, it literally, you're going to face adversity in every single round?
Yeah. Yeah, but, you'd like, we also were down 2-0 to Vegas too. So you're down in every series last year. It's not a perfect situation. So, I think we understood the importance of that. But, we're here again and we have to deal with it. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's great. I also have great confidence in our group that, that we will respond and that one win in these type of series swings the momentum, greatly.
Giving up the first goal isn't really
Yeah.
a new thing for you. This time of year, energy's high. You could feel it in the building last night. So maybe isn't really the reason for it. But
Yeah.
what can you do to kind of simulate that before going into the next game to kind of improve?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You take it's hockey, right? We took a penalty first shift of the game, kind of an unfortunate one. It ends up in our net. I don't know how you practice that or simulate that or talk about that. I think our intentions and our hearts were in the right place. I think our group was ready to play. That was just the situation. And, sometimes it's just hockey. You've just got to deal with it. I think we have to find a way. When you look at the numbers going into the series, we had an advantage on special teams. Now, they're adding Stone and Hertl and, other guys to the guys that skew those numbers probably a little bit from the regular season. So, but, you've got to win the goaltending battle. You got to win the special teams battle. When you get the razor thin margins this time of year.
You mentioned Hertl. I was going to ask you about Hertl. You had him in San Jose. What do you see different in him as a player? And
Who's that?
Hertl.
Hertl.
And
yeah.
the impact he's making on that Vegas
Yeah.
lineup. Obviously, he wasn't there when you played him earlier this year.
Yeah, you know what? He's I'm a big Tommy Hertl fan. Great kid, great teammate, great player. You see, he's built for the playoffs. He's a big body that protects pucks, net front presence, great hand-eye, great on face-offs, a lot to like. Just a really, really good player, and that's, he brings a different dimension to their group up the middle. You've got Eichel and Stevenson, Carlson that are decent-sized guys, but more speed off the rush guys. This guy's a possession-heavy, hard net front guy, so it's a good balance for them.
You talked about special teams. What has Elaine brought on the penalty kill in the last two seasons? I think you guys are top 5, top 8 in that. And then what did you see in the film from last night?
Yeah. Well, first off, I think both our special teams, have been excellent in my time here. I think both years, it's rare to have one of your special teams in the top 10, never mind both. And, usually you've got one really good and one below average. So, I think both years we've had both in the top 10, which is, I've never had that before. So, both our special team coaches do a great job. I think last night's a little bit of an aberration. I think we can do a better job than we did. Some nights everything they shoot kind of finds a way in. So, sometimes you just have to wash it and not overthink it. But yeah, I love our coaching staff, and I think they do a fantastic job.
After their fourth goal, you didn't give up much.
Yeah.
How much of that was the score, the situation, and is there anything you can take out of what you did?
That they didn't give up much, or
No, you didn't.
We didn't.
I think they had 2 shots the rest of the second.
Yeah.
I forget what they had the third, but
Yeah.
not much.
Yeah, I don't know. So, some of it's situational. Sometimes you sit back and defend a little bit. They're a smart team. There's a reason they won. So I'm sure they're not looking to push push things offensively. I think that's a piece of it. But I also think we defended well. I thought, they're an excellent rush team. We didn't give them hardly anything off the rush last night. I thought defensively our details were in a good spot. And, I thought offensively we can be better. I'm sure Butch is saying the same thing on their end. It's razor-thin margins. I mean, that the offsides goal is that much, or it's a tie game, or it's in overtime, and that's just this time of year. You got to do a little bit more. Someone's got to grab the game. Your best players have to be your best players in key moments. All those cliches.
It's a weird one. We haven't seen much of the skate over the line on the offside call since they put that
Yeah.
rule in. How close was the skate over the line when you
Yeah.
go back and look at it? Could that have been a topic of conversation?
On the
The skate can hover
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
line as opposed to just touching.
yeah
Because it looked like as he pirouetted,
yeah.
it just kind of
Yeah.
brushed forward.
I think they got the call right when I watched it. Again, it's millimeters, right? But they got the call right. There was a couple rushes where they blew offsides that I thought we had opportunities to create something that were the wrong call. You'd like to see them let those go. I think that's why you have review, but that's the game.
How much of an impact did you feel from those players that came back compared to maybe what you've seen from Vegas in the last couple weeks?
Yeah. Oh, they're a totally different team. You're adding, look at the names you're adding. So, yeah, I think that's an obvious point. I think that it would be similar to Rupe Hins and Miro Heiskanen being out for us, and then you're adding them back in. It changes all parts of your game.